And we're here.
Here we are.
Hello.
Hey. Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, everybody. Welcome aboard Tabletop Express. This is Call Aboard.
Call aboard. Sorry, I had to do it. Yeah, that's right.
And if you've never joined us before, my name's Chris. This is Anthony.
Hello.
That's Ryan. And we are the co-conductors here on the Tabletop Express. This is Call Aboard, which is long overdue, I will first say.
Long overdue.
The train is late.
The train is very late.
We pulled an NJ Transit on everyone, so I apologize.
Yeah, we've had... it's been busy, though. We've
It's
had some
been
good stuff going on.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But, yeah, we are back. Call Aboard. And that number right at that top there, call-aboard.com. You use that, you can jump into the back queue and we'll bring you on camera. Or if you want to turn off the camera and just use audio, that's cool too.
Or if you're in the chat, like Marcel. Hey.
There he is.
Hey.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this shirt, by the way, one of a kind.
For real?
One of a kind.
Did you make it?
Yes.
Ooh.
I bought it because...
Wait, did you buy it or make it?
You bought it or you made it?
Sorry. I mean, I paid someone to make it for me,
Okay.
but it was a one-of-a-kind shirt.
So nobody else has that shirt except
Nobody has this shirt but me.
That's pretty epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. But tonight, we're talking roll and write games.
Yes.
Though, in all fairness, I think I need to be very honest about my list right at the top.
Oh, I'm going to break rules, but go ahead.
Yeah, I totally break rules here because the roll and write genre to me also truly kind of encompasses a lot of flip and writes.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you are technical on that, yes, I've broken the rules, but so there'll be flip and writes in there too. But
So let's clarify rules.
Yeah.
A roll and write is a game where a player is rolling dice from a collective pool that usually people are drafting from or selecting a die from,
Right.
and applying it to their own board.
Sure.
right.
Right? Okay.
Which is why the flip and writes often take work in the same way because you're playing off you're playing off the same
Yeah,
dice.
flip and right changes the classic roll and write is Yahtzee.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Everyone's Yahtzee. But now it's like, what if we took the Yahtzee dice and put in cards?
Correct.
Instead, right? 'Cause
Correct.
it's a flip and right.
Correct.
But what kind of games do you have on your list?
I have, so here's the thing. And
There's
if
no
you're-
rolling, flipping, or writing in any of your games. Is that
there's
correct?
one where there's no writing. There is one where there's no writing.
It's a flipping chat.
Hey, Danielle's in the chat. There is
It's
one.
It's this deck of just like
There's
conversation
one where
starter
there's no
cards.
writing. And the great thing about these, by the way, these top 10s that we do,
Oh, we have fun with
is
this.
when you call in or let us know a game that you think is on the list, we will kind of flip it on the board like Family Feud style, right?
Yes.
Survey says.
Yeah.
Bing! You know?
And if
Yahtzee.
there's a crossover,
You
That's
just
what
made
happens.
up that rule.
no,
Really?
the crossover. If we're going to crossover, that's what we did
All right.
last time.
All right.
It kind of was a rule that just was born organically.
Okay.
We just wanted to have another reason for you to blow the whistle.
Yeah.
That's probably what it was.
I mean, you don't blow it enough. That's.
We got, see Laura in the chat?
Hey, I know her,
She loves rolling rights.
and I love her.
Aww.
And we got a MistaRau.
MistaRau.
I love him too.
I do love him too. You beat me to it though.
He's a good guy. Sorry.
But to that point, call-aboard.com. We're super friendly. Give us a call. Talk about your favorite roll and writes. And let us know what is on your mind when you think about this topic. Because we know a lot of people like these games.
So
Well,
yeah, what? Go ahead.
You said a lot of people like these games.
Yes.
So I had a struggle putting together my list.
I know you do.
Because generally, I do not like roll and writes.
You are not a lot of people. That's what my point is.
Okay, well, generally I do not like a lot of roll and writes. But the ones I do like, I feel very passionate about some of them.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy to talk about those in terms of which roll and writes I don't like. Mitchell's saying, I don't have many roll and writes on my played list, but I want to try Silver and Gold. Is on anyone's list?
Silver and gold.
It is.
We're starting off, right?
It is on the list. That is, I believe for me, my number 7.
Interesting.
Yes.
Hang on. Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Sorry.
We'll never know.
Where's my mouse? Hang on. Hang on. First I gotta add that. Okay. Now go prices. Jeez, what show is this? Family Feud style. Survey says, hey,
Silver and Gold.
that was
Yeah.
good.
Phil Walker Harding, one can't go wrong with that. The real delightful game about this is, first and foremost, I love a game that doesn't take up a ton of space. Space-wise, you can bring it a lot of places. This game accomplishes that. Replayability is extremely high. And this game, really, the shapes are coming out each round. There's always going to be one shape that will get put aside in each round.
Right.
And so you don't know exactly what's going to come out. You're not getting the same cards every round. And you're doing this all to try to complete the cards that you are collecting. Now, you're going to start with some cards. And then once you've completed a card at the end of a round, you're going to be able to get a new card. Mm-hmm. Now, those cards have things like X's and palm trees, which are additional ways to score points. But the other thing, which I think is really cool, is one of the scoring mechanisms also might be you're going to get a point for X amount of cards you have of whatever type of color. So there's multiple scoring patterns in this game. You've got obviously the obvious one that is I get 14 points maybe for completing this card. But you might be more enthusiastic about taking that green card because you're also getting a multiplier bonus for your 3 or 4 green cards that you take. So you have to, you have to think about that. Yeah. But this one is always a hit. I mean, whenever I've put it on the table, it's a favorite at what I have called before dinner games.
Oh yeah.
For us, this has been a big dinner game. These cards are pretty worn in my house, to say the least.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that. It's a great game. I highly recommend try it out. And again, Phil Walker Harding, generally speaking, quality and doesn't fail here for sure.
Yeah, this is a very approachable game. It's not on my top 10, but it would definitely be in my top 20.
I thought it was.
If it is, then I totally forgot that it was.
No, you might
think
be,
it is.
You might be right. If it is, then maybe I screwed it up.
Very easy to get to the table, like you said. Doesn't take up a lot of space, which to Danielle's point is kind of, I think, one of the big appeals of these games in general, the smaller ones, is that they have a pretty small footprint.
Yeah.
I did see that there's a new version of this coming out called Pyramids, I believe.
Okay.
Which has, I think, a very similar concept, except instead of trying to fill up the whole card, each card has is sort of like a tomb, I guess, or something, a pyramid that you're exploring.
Okay.
And there's different things you can get, but to finish the card, you're trying to get from the entrance to the exit.
Oh, interesting.
By still filling in those polyomino shapes.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
So you have like a path you have to go down.
There's a path you have to go down, but because the shapes are not just, one at a time, you might branch out, and then again, like the original, there's other symbols that are going to do different stuff. I don't remember how the scoring works exactly, but...
Is that coming out this year?
I think so. Maybe it'll be at PAX. I'm not sure.
I'm going to pull it up right now.
And to Marcel's comment, by the way, no, there's Green Team Wins is a party game. I'm not cheating to that level. No, I have that game. That's definitely not it. That's in my
Pyramid.
No, do silver and gold.
Yeah, it's probably silver and gold, and then reimplementation.
Right? Yeah. Reimplemented by Silver and Gold Pyramids. There it is.
Ooh, when is this?
This year.
It says this year. I don't know specifics.
I might be. I wonder if this is going to appear anywhere at PAX Unplugged.
It's funny. The first time I played this game was at, not this one, the original was at PAX Unplugged probably, I guess, 3 years ago.
That's when I did it too, 2019.
Yeah, and then we bought it on site.
Yeah, that's the same thing for me. Came home, was a hit. So I'll be on the lookout for this and wonder. I'm going to have to look at the list for PAX Unplugged. If this is there, this is going to be quickly bought.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, great guess right out of the...
That, by the way, is an example of if you call in and the game that you're talking about is not on the list, we will pull it up on Board Game Geek.
Yes, of course.
So we're more than happy to talk about it.
Yeah. So, Mitchell, to answer your original question, yes, you should try Silver and Gold because it is on.
And that is actually the better sibling half of Marcel, right there.
Oh yeah,
it's not actually anyone named Mitchell. I want to point that out because I think we've poorly done that before.
So I saw Danielle posted that she tends to like the roll and writes that take up less space. Twilight Inscription is the exception to that. Yeah, most of them do have a very small footprint.
Twilight, I gotta try that sometime. just once experience
Same.
it.
I haven't tried it.
I have no
so
desire to
it's-
buy it, but I would like to try it.
So obviously the appeal to these games is they can feel very familiar, right? You brought up Yahtzee, which I mean is a classic.
Sure.
And there's so many games, not just roll and rights. There's so many games that implement a Yahtzee type thing where you can re-roll dice. But so to your point, what is it? It's such an appealing genre to a lot of people. What is it about it that generally you don't enjoy as much?
So largely with roll and rights, I find there's a lot of like multiplayer solitaire.
Sure.
A lot of people just focusing on their own thing, just focusing down, staring at a piece of paper, and just kind of like, just filling out boxes and ticking out things. Granted, there's some satisfaction in it because I do like filling out spreadsheets for sure. But when it comes to board games, I do like to have a lot of player interaction. So some of the higher ones on my list are gonna definitely have some player interaction. By the way, Barros, are you cheating? Are you gonna have green team wins?
No, that's a party game.
There's a party game.
Yeah,
that's a party
too much
game.
of a stretch.
And Rachel's here. Hey, Rachel.
Yeah, it's a stretch. I do like Green Team Wins quite a bit, and that will be coming with me to PAX Unplugged. Still actually hoping to hook up and connect with Nathan and even try to get a game with Nathan, the designer. So that's one of my hopes. So
I'm gonna bring up my number 10.
Yeah.
So I feel like, by the way, the roll and write craze or the resurgence probably started around the time when Welcome 2 came out, like that time era. There is another roll and write that came out before Welcome 2 that I thoroughly enjoyed. So I feel like it might be lower than my number 10, but I feel like I need to include it in this list because it's the one that I was recommending to people way back, and this is called Roll Through the Ages, the Bronze Age, designed by Matt Leacock, who designed, of course, Pandemic. Right? This is from Eagle Griffin Games, came out in 2008, and this game was an offshoot of the board game Through the Ages. Plays nothing like Through the Ages, so okay. In this game, you're going to be rolling a set of dice, okay? Yahtzee style, and you'll be re-roll. You could set some aside and re-roll and such. And once you're done rolling, you're gonna allocate those different resources on that little wooden pegboard.
That's cool.
Okay, which is really cool.
I do like.
So
the
you move up
pegboard.
and down the pegboard, and those are like the resources you have. But you also have a sheet of different cities, which is occupied by different people. So every time you need to feed your people. Okay. And if you can't feed your people by the number of food you have, then you start getting like famine and getting disasters. And what's cool is there's on some of the dice there's a die face which gives you two good resources and one skull. And if you get a certain number of skulls, it'll affect you. Like if you get one skull, it'll affect you. But if you get two skulls, it affects everyone else at the table but you. So you kind of want to push your luck that way. And it's a game that you're also going to be filling out the different pyramids. The architectures, which one of them is a pyramid.
Okay.
You're doing different wonders, right? But the thing is, you're kind of racing the other players, so there is some interaction there because the first person to fill it gets a higher point value than the other ones.
Okay.
It's not like Civilization where it's built, no one else can build it, but
Everyone can build it, but the person who does it first has like the better one. You know, like everyone can have a Statue of Liberty, but the New York City Statue of Liberty is
the Las Vegas one is.
It's the Las Vegas is not as or the Buffalo one. I think they have like two of them there. So, anyways, that being said, you add up your score. And then the player with the most points wins, which usually is going to happen. I think it happens actually when a certain number of the architecture buildings have been completed. And then there's also a solo mode as well, too. So this game is pretty solid. It was part of an Eagle Griffin game series where they had different small box games come out. Like they had Diamonds. But Roll Through the Ages was one that I still would recommend people try out. It doesn't look too appealing, but it has some player interaction into it.
I like the little pegs though.
Yeah,
that's kind of.
It's got a classic vibe to it, and the dice are all wooden. You know, they have like nice little imprints, and it is Matt Leacock. Now, there's a sequel to this game called.
I'll ask because this is a Bronze Age. Is there?
Yeah, so there's Roll Through the Ages, the Iron Age, which I have played, and it was nowhere near as good.
Got it.
It just took the formula and just like, it doesn't feel like a true sequel.
Yeah.
It just feels like here are some extra add-ons, like some extra filler. You know, like a director's cut. But it's not even Matt Leacock. It was like another designer too that did it too. So.
Well, what do you think about this? Because Rachel's saying that she doesn't necessarily mind if they have a roll and write kind of offshoot, but even a card game. Sure. But you know, when it comes down to it, I guess it does vary. Noting No Siesta. Which,
like Lagrange,
like Lagrange,
right?
Yeah.
Like a
reimplementation of
like a spin-off.
A spin-off,
right?
That's the word.
Yeah.
That's definitely the word.
I'll tell you, one of the games on my list is a spin-off. This is not really a spin-off, but one of them is truly a spin-off.
And spin-offs have to be done well. That's the thing.
So I'll let you keep guessing what that spin-off is, Rachel, because it's very high up on my list.
Yeah.
We'll get to
and I'll be interesting what people think is out there. But Anthony,
what's up?
What about your list? Because looks like we've checked one off mine.
Oh, you're right.
One off Ryan's.
All right, we can go ahead and do my number 10. Now, I don't remember which one it is, but it definitely starts with the letters Q and W.
Oh, it does. It does. Ready?
I'm ready, baby.
It's the classic one.
It's the classic Quicks.
Oh, there's a classic.
All right, so not just a clever name, it is actually a pretty fast game as well. All you see there is everything that comes with the game. This is, to the way you were describing the classic roll and writes, this is what that is. You roll a bunch of dice, and you check off some things on your score sheet. So if you're the active player, you're going to roll all the dice, and you're going to announce the total of the 2 white dice. Everyone can cross off that number on any of their 4 colored tracks if they wish, but they don't have to. The active player has to at least cross off that combined white number, or I should say, combining one of the colored dice with one of the white dice as well. The caveat being that you must cross the numbers off in order from left to right. So once you skip, say, the number 3, you're not going back to number 3.
I'm doing number 2.
What's that?
Right. If you go number 3, you're not doing number 2.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. Whatever you. Yeah. Yes. Everything to the left of that. The 2 tracks on top go in ascending order, but the 2 on the bottom go in descending order. Basically, the game just keeps going like that, and you'll see at the end of each track there's like a lock symbol. To lock a color, you have to have at least 5 of the numbers in that color crossed off already.
Yeah. And
when you lock a color, that color is not rolled anymore. So you're going to roll less dice, but as soon as a second color gets locked, that's going to be the end of the game. Yeah. You add up as many points according to that little chart there. However many X's you have is a certain amount of points. And then if you ever were not able to cross something off, you get a penalty. You lose 5 points. That's it. Super simple. Very easy to teach. Very easy to get to the table or the dinner table or the bar or whatever small space you have to play games. And there's even a couple of other versions of this. I believe I want to say there's a larger score sheet or something that has a different order other than what's on this sheet, right?
There is. I'm almost certain.
There's at least one, maybe even 2. So, that's Quicks from Game Right. They make a lot of good little games like this. And, that's my number 10. It gets played quite often.
Yeah, the core gameplay of this is fantastic. It's basic. It's simple to teach. And to your point, it is quick.
Yeah.
Number 10?
It does not take long.
Wow, you want to be higher?
How about number 7?
Oh!
Yeah, surprise, there's a crossover.
Blow that thing! Holy crow, I can't believe you like this game.
I actually really like Quicks, and I'll tell you exactly what I like about it. So like I said before, player interaction is one thing I do like in board games. And Quicks has some of it because there's a push your luck element going on to it.
Sure.
And a mess with your neighbor kind of thing going on with it. And like a mind game that you're playing with your neighbor. I played this game a lot during COVID, actually.
Yeah, okay.
We played it remotely with my coworkers because there was like a nice online implementation at the time. And we would just mess around with each other, like just saying go, so it was a great fun, like table vibe.
Sure.
Like that's normally not the reaction you get at a roll and write setting.
Right.
But with this kind of game, I get that party vibe. I get that excitement vibe. I get that like group like can't stop kind of vibe with Quicks. That's why I gravitated towards Quicks in particular, because there's for sure push your luck. It's all luck driven. There's any skill that you may think you have is just completely gone because of how luck driven this game can be. And when that luck pulls off, it's exhilarating. So that's why Quicks is on my list. So yeah, I do like Quicks.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a good one.
We got some stuff going on in the chat.
Let's see it.
And then after the chat, we will have to go. It looks like we got someone in the wings who wants to chat with us. Let's hit the chat first, though. We got
Three Sisters. What's this?
Three Sisters will have another expansion in Durango. Will be the next roll and write from MCG. Is that officially?
I did not hear either one of those things, but that doesn't mean they're not true.
And Three Sisters has the little mini expansion.
Three Sisters has the weather expansion.
The weather expansion. That's what I mean. Correct. The little mini expansion.
Yeah. Durango, I had not heard of that. I know French Quarters.
French Quarters is on way soon, or it is on the boats now. So,
There's some chatter about Super Mega Lucky Box, which we should get to. Oh, look at that! I'm surprised not higher. See, I thought the same thing. No, it's for sure a number 7.
We may have to come back to some of these on the list, but I do want to make sure we get to our caller. And let's remember to go back to that point, because I have a feeling some of these we're going to have to address.
All right, so we're bringing them in. 3, in 2, and 1, we got MistaRau.
Ahoy!
Hey, guys.
Howdy. Welcome.
Welcome.
By the way, for those of you at home, if you hear any echo, let us know. Go ahead. Hi.
Perfect. Yeah. No, it's been a while since I've been able to call, but the time shift thing happened. So now it's an hour later. So now it's actually much better because my kids are actually in bed now, rather than me trying to get them to bed while your show is going on. So, but we don't believe in time change here in Saskatchewan anyways. So
we just my 1-year-old daughter does not believe in time change. She's been waking up at 5 a.m. every day for this past week, including today. So
exactly, they should make a roll and write about time change.
Oh man, no.
I wonder how that. No, would anybody buy that?
Yeah, can we just stop it? Like, there's no reason for this time change.
I thought it got voted on too at some point, and they got rid of. I guess not. I don't know. I didn't.
I want to say too that out west, I know Vancouver and British Columbia in Canada, they want to get rid of it, but California doesn't want to get rid of it. And so there's like a big old like war between like, I want to get rid of it, but we don't want to get rid of it. So we're going to screw up all the ports and everything like that. So just get rid of it. Roll and write. I have a couple. One I'm going to guess is on somebody's list somewhere. And it's a game that I've been having a lot of fun with on the channel. And I have a ton of content for it. And that's... Rolling Realms by Stonemaier Games and Jamie Stegmaier. Who's got it? Somebody's got it.
It's on the list, I think.
It's on a list. Good.
Let's bring up the list.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. It's most likely Chris.
Yeah, that's
good. Chris, what number was it?
Yeah, that's number 2.
It's a number 2.
Yeah, I like Rolling Realms. Ryan, talk a little about this one because
hold on, it's on my list too.
Wait,
it's on my list too. Get that whistle ready.
Blow the whistle.
6, I believe.
Number 6.
Oh right. There we go. Yes.
So talk about this one because it's obviously one we've both enjoyed for some reason here. So
absolutely. What he managed to be able to do and just make little thematic connections to some, like at least in this box, connections to games that Stonemaier Games has published, and how you actually interact with those cards by the dice rolls makes it do feel like oh yeah, I remember that. That's exactly how Euphoria works, or yeah, I can see that's how like Scythe works. And so being able to take all those games, and the modularity of a game is absolutely fantastic. Just choosing 3 realms to play in a round, have to figure out what the connections are between them, and then you have to play 3 rounds. The replayability is through the roof. And then of course you go bazonkers for all of these expansion packs that you kind of go for, with that he's got all of these different games that Jamie really enjoys and loves. The replayability right now for this game is through the roof, and the gameplay is just fun. It's just fun trying to figure out the interactions and the combos on how do these realms going to work together. He's got to smash it. And for something that he came up with during the pandemic, just as his little side project, we're just going to, I'm just got this idea. Let's just put it out there as a print and play for all of the folks out there. And let's play test it together through like Zoom calls and whatnot. And then people are like, this is good. You should actually make this. And he's like, okay, I guess so. And then it turned into what it is today. So and I was in there. I was right from the ground zero, right that very first iteration piece of paper that you could print off at home and play along with him. I was hooked right then. And then I'm really enjoying the solitaire mini golf variant, which is a whole bunch of like a series of challenges that you have to do with certain realms and have to play with certain rules and have to get a certain goal. It's been it's just a lot of fun rolling realms. Go.
And I will note, Rachel's saying you haven't opened those packs, just so you know.
I agree. What a monster. Go ahead. Continue.
So, but have
you even played this game?
Open them live! Open them live!
No, to the point though, this game keeps coming out with new collaborations now. So they've left that world that was just Stonemaier, and they've gone on, and that's what's really neat. I mean, there's Honey Buzz and all these other things in there, and games I haven't played. And I feel like I haven't got through all the packs at this point, for what it's worth. But I've got through probably 2/3 of them now, and it's really great to be able to see that. And that's why, to the replayability point, I mean, this could go on for a really long time. That modularity is huge, and he's doing the live playthroughs of it as well. I mean, Jimmy's been on the channel before. Jimmy was one of the first people on Creators Corner, so obviously I have a great appreciation for Jamie personally, just because of the early support that he gave this channel. But he's going to keep doing those plays, so you can participate with him too. So I think that's the other neat thing, and it is still something you can play with friends online, which has not died. Like, that is still a thing, you know what I mean? We can still do that, and it's still enjoyable, and we do it with our community. I've done it a few times with you, so I feel like that is a beautiful thing about this, and I hope that trend never goes away. I really hope that sticks.
This is fantastic. And he's got the new one in development, which is Rolling Realms Redux, which is going to be a whole brand new box with a whole brand new set of realms.
One of the reveals recently, I think, was it has poker.
A roll and write poker?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
So
yeah. But that's going to be in the new...
Oh, like a wild card?
Oh, was it a joke?
Oh, no, it wasn't.
One-eyed jacks are wild.
Yeah.
And I have another one that we really enjoy around here, and this doesn't make too many lists, so I'd be surprised if it's actually on somebody's list. If anybody, it would be on maybe Anthony's list at the best. I'm not sure if Ryan or Chris have played it at all, but that's Dungeon Academy by the Op.
Do you know this one?
No.
I have not played this one.
Okay, so Dungeon Academy is not your like really traditional roll and write, but you do roll a bunch of dice and you do have to write on paper. So I'm classifying it as a roll and write. But what you're going to do is that you communally roll a big mitt full of dice into a big kind of like a 4x4 grid square. And they're going to have potions and monsters. Yeah, kind of like that. So they'll kind of roll into a little bowl, and they have these monsters and potions, and there's big monsters, little monsters, and stuff like that. And then everybody else has got this little pad of paper where there it is. So, and it's all situational. So I could be looking at the grid of dice from my side of the table, but Chris will be looking at it from his side of the table, and it'll be a little bit of a different maze. You got to go through the maze. You got to track. Okay, I'm going to go fight this monster, and then I'm going to go fight this monster, and then I'm going to pick up a potion, and then I'm going to fight another little monster, and then you kind of just track your way through this maze of dice. All the while, you're a little hero. There's like a little hero card in there. They can only take so many hit points or so much magic damage as you go through. And so as you fight a big monster, you take 2 hits of damage. Fight a little monster, you take 1 point of damage. But the potions will heal you as you go through your little grid. And monsters are worth points. If I'm thinking like this correctly, you can get little item cards. And it's also a little race because whoever can finish their little maze first is going to get a first pick of some treasure cards in between rounds. And you go through 4 rounds of going through this little, you shake up the dice, put them down in the middle of the table, and then you kind of just go for it. And then you get more loot and more treasure that can give you bonuses and little game-breaking abilities like, oh, big monsters only cause you 1 point of damage instead of 2 points of damage type. Or I can pass through a big monster for free once per round type things. And so it's a lot of fun. It's very quick. It probably only takes about a half an hour to 40 minutes to play through the 4 rounds. And we have a ton of blast around the MistaRau Gaming household here with this one.
Is this Arcadia Quest artwork, or does it just look kind of similar?
Maybe it's just kind of similar.
Oh yeah, never mind. Okay.
And it's designed by Julian Elaine. I think it's published by the Ops. The Ops sent me this quite a long time ago as a review copy type thing. So, but we've had a ton of fun with it. It was a big surprise. I had never heard of it before we had got it. And as I was reading through it, I was like, oh man, there's a game in here that's actually pretty decent. And I never hear people talk about it. So I thought I'd come on tonight and talk about this one, because if you haven't had a chance, if you have a chance to check it out, definitely check it out, because I think it's worth the while.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
no, it sounds neat. I like the concept that you described of we're looking at the map differently.
Yeah.
That to me that's a unique thing. I don't hear about that all that often.
$15.
Hey.
Are you gonna purchase it live on air?
No way. No way. Imagine.
One day, I
This is
see
like-
that happening.
Yeah, this is like real life junkie behavior here.
I know, right? Just, yeah. I'll put in the chapter list. Like, please, Giselle, do not look at this part of the stream.
Do not watch.
Yeah. So yeah, Dungeon Academy. I don't ever hear it really mentioned at all. So I had to make sure that I mentioned it, because it is a ton of fun.
Well, Danielle says she has it on her shelf of shame, and you may have just pushed it off for her. So good job.
Perfect. Yes.
Go.
Me and Danny are really good at pushing each other to get our games off the shelf, because I've got Tesseract back here, which she made me. I'm quite sure she made me buy that game so that I can play.
Nice.
Because
There we go.
See, fellow junkies.
There you go.
See,
There you go.
yep.
Thank you for the promotion of our Discord channel.
Oh, yes.
That's basically I look, it is great to see new games that I haven't heard of, so that's really exciting. Hey, it's the Eclectic Camel.
Whoa.
Oh, David, how's
Brian.
it going?
And
And Brian, hey buddy.
Hey guys, welcome.
Absolutely.
Crowded house now.
I like
I
it.
love it.
Now, I did like that you said promotion. So, Mr. Rao, you are one of our people that are on our Discord. You have your own separate section on our Discord. Thank you so much for all your contributions. On
Yeah,
our Discord
absolutely. It's a
community.
fun place. It's a great place. I promote it every chance that I can. We got to get as many people in there as possible. And people have been mentioning that this is like one of the more friendlier. This is like the better. Like, there's no toxic behavior in this Discord channel, at least that I've seen. Everybody's so cool. Everybody's so friendly. Everybody's so enthusiastic about games, and not even just games. It's like we're posting stuff about our families and different things. The music chat is always really fun. The movie chats are always a little fun and stuff like that. So it's a great community to be a part of. I'm glad to be part of it. I'm glad to call you guys friends and my friends and stuff like that from far away, even though you're way over there on the East Coast and I'm just a prairie boy, but we all have the same thing in common.
We're all board gamers. What's next?
We
up
are
for your
all
channel?
gamers. We are all gamers.
What's next up on the MistaRau Gaming channel?
All this month I've been doing the pandemic game system. So not games that are pandemic, but I've been playing like Rising Tide, the Clone Wars, Star Wars one, Fall of Rome is coming up, I believe, next week. I played the Reign of Cthulhu one, so I'm playing through all of the games. I was really happy that people around Saskatoon lent me their copies because I didn't actually own them and had no access to them. So people are like, well, if you give me a shout out on the channel, I'll give you my game. And I'm like,
wow.
Sweet.
I don't have to buy the game. So perfect. Thank you very much. So they were doing that. Last night I had a stream. I was supposed to do a stream for the Guild Academies of Valeria, the newest Valeria title from Daily Magic. I had super technical difficulties. Anybody who's in the chat here that was part of that chat, my internet just went, they went sunk right into I was getting warnings all across the thing. And I was like, what is going on? And apparently I needed a new router. So my wife got a new router for me today on her lunch break. And now I'm here. I'm able. Nothing seems choppy. So
No,
you're good.
smooth sailing now, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
And for those who do, if you do are interested, we highly recommend go check out MistaRau Gaming. But also on the Discord, as he noted, he has his own section, so you can find out what he's up to as well, and all his latest videos and his full schedule there, as well as I know he is post actively. Also, we got Dan in the house here.
A lot of people.
Ooh,
Yeah,
everybody
Discord is hopping in. I can see, which is great to see.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
Perfect.
thank you as always, man. And thank again, and always, I love, like I said, when we bring in the games I haven't heard of.
Yeah,
because there's so many games out there. It's bound to happen, but I feel like it doesn't happen nearly enough. So
yeah.
It's always a great surprise.
Perfect. Yeah. Like I said, if you have a chance to see it, if you just see it kind of just out and about in one of those game libraries and at any cons or anything like that, like I said, it's a quick teach. It's a quick play. I know at least one of you in there is going to actually enjoy it once you start playing it.
I get the sense you and I would like this one.
I think you might like it.
You're both going to dislike it. I'm going to love it.
Oh man.
Be pleasantly surprised. I'll put money down that at least one person is going to like it.
All right. Sounds good.
I'll take those.
Awesome,
All right,
gents.
sir. See you in the chat, and we'll see you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be hanging around for a bit while I get everything all set up for a new playthrough video.
Oh, good.
Awesome.
All right. See you later.
Awesome. Take care, gents.
Bye.
We got some chat to catch up on, and probably some lists to attend to.
Yeah.
Well, before you do that, I will still certainly encourage be cool like MistaRau. Call in. Call-aboard.com.
Hey,
No,
look, if
no.
you don't want to call
No,
in,
you don't
it's not
have
a problem.
to.
Not about being cool. We're not shaming you for not
No,
calling.
there's no. It's not shame.
But if you did call, we will answer.
Yeah, we will answer.
What?
You're gonna answer the call.
Answer the call.
Answer the call.
Oh, you know
That's
who
what we do.
because you know who to call.
Trying to keep it at a minimum.
Yeah. So let's see what we got here.
So we had chat about some other game titles, and one of them is on the list.
There's a few on this list. I mean, by all fairness, we've got to mention. We've got a few mentions here.
All right.
So,
How do you want to do this?
well,
Let's see.
Wanna work
Mike is a
backwards?
bit low. Thank
Oh.
you so much.
thank you.
I'll tune it up a little bit.
We will get louder.
You let me know if it sounds good.
Yes. So let's work our way back here.
All right. So we were going back
Well,
here. Yeah.
Joseph mentioned Three Sisters.
Oh yes, that was
So,
it. There it is.
Joseph mentioned Three Sisters. So I think that's the good starting point. Because that is on my list. I gotta double check which number it was. But it is my number 5,
Ooh.
actually.
Oh,
Okay, hang on. Wait. I gotta get the board.
Yeah.
Okay, you're number 5.
Services.
Three
Yeah.
Sisters. Yeah, that is my number 5. Is that anyone else's stuff before we...
I
Is there
never
a
played it.
crossover?
It is.
Because I know Anthony likes this game, so it's got to be on his.
my number 1.
What?
Three Sisters number 1.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I'm going to let you take the lead on this because it's your number 1.
Well, I mean, it's no secret that we love these loaded roller rights,
Yeah.
specifically the ones from Motor City Gameworks, and this one just had a very unique theme. Not unique in that gardening. There's a lot of gardening games
Right.
out there, right? But the theme, the literal title of the game, Three Sisters, I'll never forget because I didn't know what that was.
Right.
And so upon a little bit of investigation, found out that it was this, agricultural style of farming that the indigenous folks had done for so long. That was even more interesting to me.
Yeah.
And it's a cool parallel because the whole premise of that is you've got your pumpkins or like squash, which are these really big, leafy, huge leaf plants, right? And they provide a lot of shade for the soil. Then you've got your corn, which I believe makes nitrates for the soil, nitrogen. And then the green beans, which use the corn to kind of like hang on and crawl. So anyway, they all complement each other in some way. And that's a lot of what this game is about, right? There's a lot of playing off of things in different parts of the sheets that provide these cool cascading things and combos and lets you alter dice and grow things faster. There's so much going on here. When you sit down with these two sheets side by side, it's just a thing of beauty.
Yeah, and when it comes down to it, the theme captured that story captured my attention. I remember when I learned why is it called Three Sisters, because I looked it up. But the gameplay of this, now you have obviously other games from them that have the two sheets.
Sure.
But this is my favorite of the bunch just because they play so well together, and to me it's the perfect combination of their games so far. It is the perfect weight. It's light and it's just heavy enough and just light enough at the same time. It makes sense that I can get this on the table with a good amount of people. And thematically, it does connect with people because even though there's a lot of gardening games out there, this one's just a little different. And when you tell the story that you just told, that actually piques people. Like, really? So this is connect. And so I've had a lot of luck with this one. And I do love, on the right side of the board, there's these different abilities you can use, which are similar to previous games and what they do in other ones as well. But there's just enough of them. And really the core of the game is that heart of just building out that garden using that method that you described. And I recommend people try this one. It is a lot of fun.
I see chatter about people trying the technique and both Rachel and MistaRau could not pull it off. What is the technique? The three?
Yeah, I tried it too. I don't
work?
think it works. But we're not good at gardening. But basically, I think because it's even thematic. Like when you look at the different garden sections, the corn columns are 4 spaces tall.
Yeah.
But the green bean ones are only 2. But you can't start the green bean one until you have a couple of the corn ones already there. Again, which is thematic. They have to have a little bit of substance before the beans can start to, climb their way up to grow. So yeah, I've tried it before too. And it didn't come out too well. But.
Yeah. And Dan, by the way, chiming in saying that he thought Fleet was your favorite of theirs.
Well, you thought correctly if it was last year.
Oh.
Because you can go ahead and reveal that is indeed my number 2.
Oh, man.
Okay, so...
Wow.
Is on your list too?
No,
for you,
I
right?
like this game,
this is
but...
your favorite of the 3.
Yeah, Three Sisters knocked a bunch down.
I think Fleet got pushed down a little bit for me just because of how much it's been played, where I'm in the phase where I still feel like I'm discovering... I don't want to say I'm discovering new things in Three Sisters. I mean, obviously everything is there. But this started to feel a little bit samey for me, but not in a bad way. Three Sisters just has still a freshness to it that I'm enjoying more as of now. Again, a year or 2 from now, this might change completely. But in Fleet, very much the same. You're drafting these dice and crossing off on this couple of sheets different tracks of different types of sea life that you're capturing, like lobster and cod and shrimp and things like that, which are going to then combo to get these other point value, make your income go up. You can use these different buildings in the wharf that lets you get extra victory points or let you alter the dice or re-roll some of the dice sometimes. And then you can go fishing every other round where you can fill up your boats with fish. You can go on a private fishing trip. And to your point, there's definitely a bit of, what is my neighbor up to over there? Because when I choose which dice I want, there's going to be one die left that's kind of like a communal thing that everybody gets.
So there's like hate drafting?
There is, right? Because, if you roll and there's 2 symbols other than matching, you don't want your opponent to get, those 2 lobsters. It may really help them. So even if you don't want them right now, maybe you take one so that they at least don't get 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of that, I think.
We've talked about this game too, as it pairs really well if you want to have a thematic game night.
Okay.
And it pairs really well with some other games that are out there where you could have a whole thing on all about going out on the boat.
Sure.
And here's the sea town. Then you go out on the boat and
Then you play Jaws.
Yeah, and then you
Play
can play
Jaws.
some Jaws.
That's
yeah.
a good one.
Yeah, but this one I will note it was one of the first games I actually played with you.
Yeah, for sure.
And-
There's going to be a mobile app.
Oh, don't tease me.
That'll be
Like the
good.
Camel Fleet the Dice game is probably my favorite roll and write.
Yeah, it is a great game. It's not on my top 10, but it is highly regarded, and I would play this anytime.
I still haven't played any of this pinchback riddle combos.
None of them?
At
Yeah.
all. None of them. I want to. I just haven't
I
done
haven't played Motor City as much as I thought I would have by now.
it. Yeah.
I will say. So it's not on my list. But I am...
Motor City didn't hit as well for me.
Yeah.
It just and I don't know what it was, but I don't think I'm gonna have the same. I don't expect the same reaction to French Quarters.
French Quarter
because
looks
I
really
got to play test a little of that, and yeah. So, but yeah, great one. We probably need to look at that list a little
It
bit.
is on the sale pile.
It is on the
Your
sale.
Motor City.
That
on
is
the
my
sale
Motor
pile.
City. Yes, it is on the sale pile. Okay, before we jump to Rachel's question there.
We go to earlier Rachel question or wait?
Yeah, just scroll up a little bit because I guarantee you there's I think
past Rachel.
Well,
there were
Mega Lucky Box was mentioned. Super Mega Lucky Box was mentioned.
Super Mega Lucky Box. Super
And
Mega.
I know that is on mine. It might be on one of yours, however.
It's mentioned twice because it is on yours as your number.
That would be 8.
You mean also my Super Mega Lucky 8 as well too. Talk about okay. Okay. Catching up. Woo. Okay. I'll talk about this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
The first time I heard about this game, it was at a board game retreat, a camping retreat, and we were around the campfire talking to other board gamers, and we asked another different board game group, what was the game that stood out to you the most at this convention? Super Mega Lucky Box. And I'm like, that's not a game.
That's not a game.
Super Mega Lucky Box, like Luck Box is what we call people who don't know what they're playing. Like, look at this Luck Box, right? But Super Mega Lucky Box is by Phil Walker Harding, and it's very much like a board game bingo kind of go. It's a board game bingo roll and write where you are just like in what's the game that he also did? Silver and Gold, where you're collecting different sets of cards and filling them out. Okay, you're instead of putting different polyomino shapes, you're filling out different numbers, and you're trying to achieve different combos to trigger other stuff on different cards. But then, there's more because as you finish different boxes, more boxes will come, and you'll have the option to kind of like apply some of your combos to those other boxes as well too. It's a really solid game.
Yeah.
I think Super Mega Lucky Box is the game that I would recommend over Silver and Gold to get that vibe, to get that feel. For me personally, because you also have some tokens you could play with. You have the moon ones and the lightning bolt ones.
Sure.
That do different special abilities. But what I like too, if you look down here on the very bottom where it says the 15, right? You are trying to achieve different stars, and if you get different stars in different points of the game, you'll get crazy multipliers, which is always exciting.
Yeah, and I don't own this one. I intend to own it eventually, but thankfully you have it and others have had it.
I do.
And I've got to play this many times. Plus BGA has it.
Wait, you
with
own it?
I do. And I think, honestly, it's probably my number 11 or 12.
Wow.
For sure. And I do like it a little better than Silver and Gold now. And I have the app as well. Been playing that a lot. My only complaint with it, I think somebody mentioned it earlier.
Uh-oh. The app?
Yeah. My only complaint with it, at least that I can tell, is it's really just solo. Like you can't. There's no pass and play,
Right.
or even like an online thing. So it's really just try to beat your best score. But I do find myself playing it a lot because it is so fast.
Yeah.
And it has cool sound effects. Like when you click a number off, it like closes the door on the card. It's like zzz.
And it's got that Schoolhouse Rock look.
Schoolhouse Rock.
That's exactly
Yep,
the look.
yep,
Yeah.
for sure. It's like scratch off lottery, the board game.
Yeah.
And I can show this to anyone, and they're immediately like it catches their eye because of that brightness, and it's I'm definitely all about that. We had a lot of comments while we were talking about that.
Let's go back a couple. So Huey brought up Walk and Roll, which was Danielle's top 3 roll and write,
Ooh,
which I think that was in our top 20 video this past year as well too.
yeah.
So let's see. There's some chatter about my
my city roll and build. I want to play the actual version of this.
Yeah, me
I
too.
don't want to judge this on BGA. There's a good chance this jumps into it. I have very much enjoyed on BGA playing this.
I'm liking it, but not as much as the
Right.
original.
But I would like to try this one,
Yeah.
the actual version. So we'll see. Merchants of Magic, I've had a chance to play. Doesn't crack my top 10, but I can see why it is for a lot of people.
Do we get a review copy of that?
Yeah, it's
I feel
on
like we did, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's on the shelf
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
And then let's see, what else did I miss?
Lance talking about primary games are solo, so there'll never be enough sheets.
Yeah, I was literally just laminating a roll and write last night. Just so.
Yeah. I think the only game that I've had to purchase more sheets for probably is Quicks. I feel like
And they sell those separately too.
they do.
right?
They have a box
Yeah.
that's just it's just a pad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Daniel's saying when she trades or sells the roll and writes, usually laminated sheets keep for myself too. What?
If you don't have access to a laminator, a little bit of a shortcut, I have a lot of these too, is print it out and put it in one of those sheet protectors, like in a
Yeah.
binder.
Mm.
And same deal, you can write on that with the dry erase marker and wipe it off without actually writing on the sheet. Before I actually got Welcome To, that's how I got between you and my friend Eric.
Yeah.
I just got every score sheet and put them all in the binder.
Oh,
Yeah.
and it looks like Girly Gamer was in here.
Hey.
If you are still here, thank you so much for coming by. It's always great to see you. I've heard about this one.
Which one?
So if you go to Mitchell Memory,
Mitchell.
yeah, it's this game with pigs. It's rolling. There's writing. It's the only roll, right? Basic Yahtzee that I've played is Past the Pigs.
That's the one where they're in like the different positions, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We talked about that in one of our older videos.
Yeah, we did. Past the Pigs. Vengeance Roll Fight. Okay. This gets mentioned. It's not on my list, but it's number 11. Like, it's right on the verge. I really do like Roll and Fight. You have told me over and over I'm going to like Vengeance, the board game version
I
better.
prefer Vengeance, the board game better.
Correct.
I think you might like Roll and Fight better, personally.
I like Roll and Fight. It is right on the cusp. It could be here in the future. It has so much variety. And to the point that I was like, actually had a book where I was writing down, like, okay, we're going to use this map. And here's the story. Like, I was making up.
Okay.
Like, I was having fun because I wanted to connect the game even more.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, the Vengeance games are very much like Kill Bill,
Okay.
Yes.
Taken, Death
you would
Wish.
like it
like Revenge
sometime.
Flick. Revenge
do
like
it.
a board game.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. We did those. We
did.
those.
Thank you, everyone. This is it. We just want to make sure we didn't
Pouring
miss
in with
any of yours.
requests.
And of course, reminder: if anyone does want to call in, call-aboard.com. Make sure you include that hyphen.
There you go. Chewy-Yugi's got one I never heard of.
Which one? Oh,
It's out there.
Varuna. I'm gonna pull that one up.
And it has dinosaurs. Huh?
Oh.
Consider me interested.
Where was it? Was it this one? There it is.
You know, I have Welcome to Dino World, and I've never played it.
Oh. Okay, we'll get to that one in a minute. But this is Varuna.
Oh, that looks cool.
That does look cool. There you go. Standalone flip and write. Features same graphic style as Ganymede and Demeter. I guess they're part of the same family.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've got a few.
I'll mark it down.
Are you
I know-
buying all these games?
No, just to check out for later.
Yeah,
You
we
know?
got a few more being mentioned here.
Hang on, there was one that was mentioned above. Rachel also mentioned it. It was one we have to go back to.
Oh, I know what you're talking. I believe Welcome
There
to.
it is. Which version of Welcome to did you guys pick?
Okay.
I'll start. I got 2'd out. I played a lot of Welcome to, and it's not on my list.
Okay.
That's all I got.
That's okay.
But go ahead.
I don't remember what number it is for me, so I'm trying to figure that out.
I am number 6 for Welcome to. And I just want to point out, because I almost had Welcome to the Moon on here, because I think actually Welcome to the Moon is actually a better complete game, but Welcome to is the one that always hits the table.
Okay.
And for that reason, Welcome to the Moon has become a solo game for me, where I did the little where I followed the solo campaign. Welcome to is the one ultimately I'm playing with friends, because most people couldn't care less about the moon part, but the home and all the different expansions won.
Well, it's my number 3 as well.
Number 3. There it is. I knew it was on your list.
And I didn't pick a specific version, but
I didn't either.
I agree with what... I agree mostly with what you just said. Welcome to the Moon not only felt like a different game, but it felt like 8 games in a box.
It is.
Because they are all very, very different.
Okay.
More different than just the Welcome to Christmas versus the Welcome to Halloween versus the zombie one.
Yeah.
Like, very different. And it does have that campaign story. You can play solo, or you can play multiplayer, and somebody wins, and they're basically the captain for the next mission. And there's a little bit of story there where you have to make a decision on, I forget what it is, right? It's like, what do you want to prioritize this mission on? And they have to choose something, and that's going to change the scoring a little bit.
I apologize, I'm just laughing. My friends don't hate the moon.
I do want to point out, too...
They just didn't care about the moon as much as the other thing.
I'm very much in this mindset, too. This top 10 list was kind of hard for me to put together.
Yeah.
But don't worry.
There's some
solid ones. But welcome to... If I had to pick any Welcome to, it's got to be the ice cream truck one.
Okay.
That's the best one in my opinion. At least that's my favorite one, because I like doing them in sequential order. And the whole point is, when you do the ice cream truck, you as you put your houses out in sequential order, the ice cream truck will move along the street either from left to right or right to left, and it'll hit every house that it can, and any houses it passes, they just skip over. And that's the kind of ice cream truck I like.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
Forget that scream truck.
outside of moon hating,
Awful.
there's
So awful, that scream truck thing.
Brian mentioned Super Skill Pinball. Anyone? You? I know we're playing.
Oh
it
my
recently.
goodness. Oh my goodness.
That's got to be on your list.
How'd you guys know it was on my
Because you
list?
just talked about it.
You talked about it recently, and
I
you actually
did.
sounded like you liked it.
I
and it was a
did.
rolling rate.
I did, Brian. It's my number 4.
There you go.
And specifically the Star Trek one I put on here, because I played the original one, and I did like the original one. Now, I did say, when it comes to roll and writes, I get very much in the mindset of, like, okay, this is like, multiplayer solitaire.
Sure.
Right? But pinball is also just solitaire, right? And this game does a phenomenal job of feeling like pinball in a tabletop setting. And I decided to pick up the Star Trek one because I did like the original one, but I just wanted a little bit more. And I feel like some of the wackiness of the Star Trek tables I've played so far have been really bonkers. Like, really bonkers. So if I had to pick any of the super skill pinballs right now, it's going to be the Star Trek one. I know there's going to be more of them coming. And again, how this game works is you roll 2 dice. You're going to choose one of your dice, of those 2 dice, to hit a specific spot in that zone where your pinball is going, which is like one of the coolest choking hazards in board games right now. It's a plastic piece that looks just like a pinball.
It's very neat.
It's cut in half, right? So you're sliding out different zones, hitting the things, satisfying it. When you fill up all of the spots in a particular zone, you erase them all so you can hit them again.
Right.
And I love that.
That's very thematic
It's
too.
super thematic. There's also a high score list, and you could just capture your score, and you can do it online. You can post up, see what other people's scores are worldwide.
How many people are just AAA on there?
I know, right? Yeah. So, anyways, going back to this, if you do like pinball, there's no question you are going to like this game. Like, period. Like, if you like board games and like pinball, this is a no-brainer, okay? For me, I'm not huge into pinball, okay? I like cheesy themed pinball. That's why maybe I'm gravitating towards the Star Trek one, because the first one is the Kobayashi Maru, like the whole the training thing that's impossible to pass, but you could cheat to pass, and this one has that where you can cheat, you could tilt the game to pass, and then it also has the Trouble with Tribbles one, which is great. There's a Borg one. And then there's a one based on the animated series Lower Decks. Mm-hmm. So they have that one as well, too.
Cool.
But yeah, Star Trek Super Skill Pinball, or any of the Super Skill pinballs that you may want to try. They're worth trying if this sounds appealing to you.
And it looks like Dan's going to bed, but mentions Long Shot the Dice Game, which I did not include, but I really do like.
I don't think he's going to bed. I think he's helping his children go to bed.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
oh, yeah.
I mean, he might be going to bed.
He could be going to bed.
I usually fall asleep.
It is 10 o'clock.
Yeah. It's 10 o'clock. If we scroll up, was there any... Oh, wait a minute.
I think if you like the moon, you'll like the Star Trek Super Skill.
Scroll up a little, because Girly Gamer had one that we need to talk about.
Oh.
And that one is one we played recently.
We did. Played it last week.
We played this last week. Had a good time with this one. That is my number 4, Cartographers.
Oh.
I believe it may be my number 4 as well.
Crossover with us again.
It is.
Toot, toot.
A lot of crossovers.
Yeah, we're a ton of crossovers here
Holy
tonight.
mackerel. It's not on my list.
Yeah, I know it's
Have
not.
you played it?
I have. It's all right. Go ahead.
So...
Why? But there's player interaction. You get to literally write on someone else's paper with monsters.
Yeah,
it's a little take daddy, in my opinion. I know.
That's what you wanted.
I know, but I like...
Some people are so hard to satisfy.
Sorry, I am hard to satisfy when it comes to this sort of thing. But go ahead, talk about it, and then I'll talk about my feelings.
So Cartographers, and for me, I note I prefer it with the heroes. Cartographers Heroes specifically.
I haven't done the Heroes version.
But Cartographers is we are working for the kingdom, and we're mapping out our map, and we're going to be flipping over cards to figure out what we're going to be able to be drawing. Not unlike many other games. The difference is the scoring in this game is these 4 decrees, A, B, C, D areas that you'll see on the board. And you are scoring them at different times. So as an example, you will be scoring in a certain round B and C. The next round you might be scoring C and D. Then it's eventually going to be D and A. You're scoring at different times, so you have to think strategically about what you actually want to get done.
There's a lot of planning involved.
Yeah, and you really do need to think about it, because the other thing that's going to come out are the monsters. And the monsters are going to come onto your board, and when you're playing with someone else, they get to draw it on your board. And we had some fun with this. My art sucks, and it's really bad, and I felt bad for Anthony trying to figure out what the hell I drew on his board. But you have them there, and then the spaces around them at the end of a round are going to be negative points. So that negative space is something you need to think about, because you got to defeat those monsters by surrounding them. With the Heroes version, it's great because you sometimes get the heroes that come out, and you would draw the weapon on the board, and it would attack.
I'm laughing at that. Continue.
But this one is definitely one that I think a lot of people would like. The biggest challenge with this one for me, it's honestly the text on those scoring. Awful. And some of the scoring, you do have to kind of take a second thought about, how does that work exactly?
And the graphic design is sometimes a little guessy, and then you go to read the card, and the font is just absurd. It's tiny and like.
Well, they were trying to go thematically.
Yeah,
with this
I
one,
get it, but
and it could have been different. But that said, that's the biggest holdup with this one. Like, my wife has played it, but she's not going to rush to play this just because of that challenge of just trying to do that, and she's would rather than take out some of the games we talked about earlier. But it's a great game. And
it has a lot of legs to it. It has a lot of expansions.
Yes.
Different levels to explore, different terrain types on those maps, and other obstacles and things that are not on some of the other ones. So there's
one where you're lighting up towers. There's another one where, my favorite, there's a volcano erupting, and it's taking over your map.
Just sneaks its way out,
and
your
it's
squares.
freaking fantastic because you can't stop it. So it's just taking over your board.
Not even the heroes can stop the lava, I don't think.
I don't think the heroes can stop the lava, no. Brian, actually, who's in the chat, has an entire thing about all of them, their accessibility in a review. So, but yeah, that is Cartographers. Great choice. And yeah, again, that's my number 4 and your number 4 as well.
Go ahead.
Oh, you know.
No, what don't you like about it?
What don't I like about Cartographers? Okay. So Cartographers, the player interaction that you guys are referring to is the ones I like, the neener player interactions.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I'm not really into.
Okay.
I like player interaction. I like messing with my neighbors, but not in the neener sense. You know? And I feel like the monster thing is totally that. Now, you describing the whole volcano thing, that sounds awful.
Oh, it sounds
in a
great
game where you're focused on trying to get these objectives, but it's totally random into if you're actually going to do it. There's a tremendous amount of luck. There's not that much in terms of planning. And then you add another level of just absurdity on your board. Yeah, it doesn't sound like my jam.
No.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
And again, this was originally this top 10 list was going to be just you two.
Yes.
But I wanted to be in this one because I don't generally like roll and writes, and I wanted to put.
That's why your list is the full right now.
I wanted to, you know, yeah. So,
by the way, we did play Dungeons, Dice, and Danger, and I didn't dislike it. It just didn't blow me away. It wasn't something that I felt the desire to. I didn't even necessarily feel the need to own it. I thought it was neat. Like, I like the thematic of it, but
it's on our for sale pile.
Yeah, it is on our for sale pile. Yeah,
still wrong about the game though. But you know, for polyomino roll and writes, I think you can do better. I think I would prefer silver and gold. I'd prefer the My City roll and build. Those are two ones that I could immediately think of that I would rather play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even the little mini game in Hadrian's Wall where you're putting the polyomino portion down. You know, which is not the whole game. But,
right.
Yeah. Anyways.
So anything is better than Cartographers, is what you're saying?
No. There's games that are worse than Cartographers for sure. It's like in the 6s.
I can name quite a few. So.
Okay. Did we miss anything? Number Drop. I haven't played, but I think Brian's brought it up before.
Yeah.
On the Discord. I'm almost certain he brought it up at the Discord before.
I've not played that.
Yeah. Let me see.
7. Thank you, everyone, for the active chat tonight. We're definitely trying to make sure we get to all of your comments. And of course,
Sagrada Artisans, is that a roll and write of Sagrada?
I thought it was just a legacy style.
Oh, okay.
Sagrada, but I could be wrong.
That's what I thought.
Dice Kingdoms of Valeria. I have not tried. I haven't tried any of the Valeria.
I haven't done any of the Valeria. I've heard good things though.
Yeah.
I've heard really good things.
I know MistaRau, who was just on earlier. He has a bunch of the Valeria ones. Oh yeah. And I think yesterday's was supposed to be the dice one. Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, welcome.
Fair warning. We're welcome. We're glad to have you.
Look, if it makes you feel better, I've only banned 2 people from the Discord.
And really?
It was because they were bots.
Oh.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's reel it in. Hey, your number 10 hasn't even been touched yet.
It hasn't? Oh,
no.
Wow. So, do you need me to say my number 10? Is that what you're saying?
Say your number 10.
Sounds like it, yeah.
All right. My number 10 is, I believe, they're all play now, on tour. I like this one a lot. This falls in the type of game that is simple to teach, simple to get to the table,
It wasn't Brian number drop. Continue.
Yeah. Big chunky dice that we're gonna roll, and these they're pretty decent sized cards with all these locations on the board where you're going to have a few of them out. You're gonna have 3 of them out. You're gonna be rolling the big chunky dice, and you're gonna be doing the number 2 ways. So if it was a 2 and a 3, it would be 23 and a 32, and you're gonna be drawing within the regions of the map, which are clearly marked, those numbers. And you're trying to get the best, quote unquote, world tour by making as much connections as possible. Now, on these regions, however, if you can get your number in the spot that is the actual location mapped, that state map on it, you're also going to get to circle. And that's a really great thing because now that's an additional way to score points. And really, all this game is it's pretty straightforward. Roll dice, put numbers, try to create the best, rock and roll tour, right? And again, easy to teach and get out there. On the other side, and on the flip side, which is great, is you've got the European tour. So you got the European tour and the U.S. tour on there. So you've got a little more variety. European side, I'd say a little more challenging. Partially because you may not know all the locations, I find, for some people, but the map is just different. Map is a little different there, obviously. So
have you played this?
Yes.
Yeah, but I like it. It's a really simple. It's a really simple game, as I noted. But every time I've played it, it's fun. People kind of get into the dice rolling and where they're going to put it. And well, yes, it is solo playing.
Sure.
I find everyone is engaged because it moves quickly. And that is one of the ways I think a game can have engagement. And I know it's not the same as what you're talking about with actual interaction, but where it's constantly moving. And you're not... Now, towards the end, you might get a little thinky about, can I do this here? Can I do this here? But you're getting less and less space along the time to be able to put a number somewhere anyways.
Right, because the two dice that you roll, that's very important, right? Because it's the digits.
Right.
Yes.
So you're either using them, like in this case, you're either using it for 79 or 97.
Right. Yeah. But again, it moves quick. Because it moves quick, the game plays quick. And to me, it doesn't overstay its welcome.
I'm actually a huge fan of this one.
Thank you.
What? I'm
glad you are saying it.
Why?
Because I hate this game. But go ahead. Continue.
I don't know. It just, from the first play, I don't know. It just, something didn't click for me. Like, I understand it, obviously. Yes. I get the concept, but to your point, I feel that way from the first turn. I feel like I have no idea where to go. Mm-hmm. Every decision I make is wrong. And it's just, to me, I guess it's too much AP for a roll and write game. For me, personally. That's how I feel about it. I know that there's an optimal route out there somewhere that I'm not getting. And then even at the end of the game, you have to find your biggest route, right? Of connected numbers. And that's just like an extra...
I totally understand.
It's like an extra game at the end. I actually, for some reason, enjoy finding that route, but I understand why people don't, because it's like finding the longest route and Ticket to Ride. To me, it's just one of those small things. But yeah, but that's easier. Yeah. I feel like. What don't you like about this?
Way too random. Like way too random, man.
Because you can't even mitigate the dice at all.
This is.
Yeah, there's no real dice mitigation. Like I said, it's a dice chucker that.
When it comes to this, it's roll and whee. It's like you.
Can
we
just get that as like a ringtone?
That's kind of what it is for me. Like, okay, look, Cartographers is better than On Tour. I would say. I think we're all in agreement on that, right? We all enjoy Cartographers on Tour. Because again, you are in that point where the board is so barren, you could really start anywhere. But depending on what the dice rolls are, you can get boned real quick.
Yeah, that's true.
Real quick in this game. And at that point, it's like, okay, I guess this is it. I guess this is where we're going. And this is how the game goes. This is how we're going the game.
Yeah. So I found myself like waiting for the game to be over.
Yes, for sure.
Which I don't usually feel.
Sorry to
Yeah.
be
But-
so scathing.
Yeah.
I don't get offended very easily.
No, I know.
I like when we disagree. Is it weird? I like when there's just like
No,
it's healthy, right?
Of course it is.
Let's see. In the meantime,
Sorry, Marcel brought up.
I saw a comment.
Sorry, I did laugh. Yeah. See, we're on the same page. We're back again.
Should have called it kicked. Wow.
Kick it to the dice. Is
There
what
you
he
go.
means. Kick it to the dice.
Kick it to the curb.
I'm not sure that's what he meant. Though.
I'm pretty sure. That's what he
Okay.
meant.
Not sure it was overlooked about Mindspace from All Play's latest bundle of games. Does waypoints count?
Waypoints.
Yeah. Does waypoints count?
What number is waypoints?
Yeah, let's see. I gotta check because now I'm
pretty sure it's your.
Is your number one?
I'm pretty sure.
No, it's not my number one.
I'm pretty sure it's the last one on your list. No, it's not.
It's not my last one. It's number 9.
It's number 9.
Yeah, I like waypoints.
Waypoints. Which,
Yes.
just so you guys know,
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, we were playing.
we were playing it before the stream started.
Yeah. Yeah. Waypoints.
Didn't finish it though.
It comes from the print and plays that are coming from Matt and Rory, which I have really loved. Postmark Games. I'm liking everything they put out. This one in particular, honestly, could continue to move up. I haven't got nearly enough plays of this in personally. Thematically, what it is you're going on this this hike. Takes place over essentially 4 rounds, rolling the dice, and as you're rolling the dice, the top of the board, then the sides and the bottom, and the whole roundabout the board has different weather patterns, which are going to indicate how far you can go and how many waypoints away, how many moves you can go to get to another waypoint. What I love about this is the flexibility of how we move in it, because when you go over a line on the map, and really representing everything from that kind of standard elevation and things that you would see as you go over a line, that's going to be essentially one of those movement points. And you are collecting bonuses for wildlife that you see, photos that you take. Also, at the start of the game, I should note, you actually pick an end game goal. So everyone has a choice to pick up 1 of 4 end game goals, and then at the end of every round, you get to score based on one of the round goals options. But once you've used that, you can't use it again. So you need to think about that strategically. And ultimately, this game is, the word I use is delightful. And I like maps. I really do enjoy maps. And I think this brought that joy of looking at a map and thinking what way I want to go. Maybe a little at AP at times from time to time, thinking, can I go this way? Can I go that way? But the game plays pretty quick. Most based on the dice roll, it could go a little bit longer. Like you could roll a bunch of 1, 2 ones in a row, and that will slow it down because there's only so many spots. But I really like this one, and for me, it is my second favorite, I will say, of their games. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it's my second favorite of their games.
Yeah, we started playing it. We didn't get to finish it. And I'm probably gonna agree with that in terms of ranking.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was for sure aesthetically pleasing, and we did goof up on a big roll, so
we did.
We gotta go back.
No, we had messed up on, and there's a thing just to point out, like if you're going over a river, there's bridges, and there's all these other things on the map, and I've only really played the first map a few times.
Yeah.
To the point that I know there's the second map and there's going to be more, and they update that. So the other thing about them as a company, Postmark Games, will continue to put out more stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Postmark. So a little bit of love to Postmark for what they do.
What are those dice right
I was
now?
about to say, what's with the Hellraiser dice?
Oh, because you used the photo. I didn't intend you to use that photo. I
did.
I know. You had showed me an example of dice before, and I was showing you the dice that I use for something.
Oh.
And then you just used it. But those are not Hellraiser dice.
It looks like Hellraiser dice.
They don't look like they don't even roll.
No, they do roll.
But they have like feet.
Yeah.
No, they roll. They roll perfectly fine.
For more, check out our Discord where
Yes.
Chris Barris will post a video of
They
these
roll.
roll-less dice.
They roll. They're from a Tiny Epic game.
Rachel did ask, so you like Voyages better or Aquamarine?
That is a great question.
It is a great question.
That is a great question because my number 3 is Voyages.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
My number 6 is Voyages.
What?
There we are.
Mine? No, no.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. I really like Voyages. And there's a bunch of maps for this now. And part of the reason I think Voyages 1 is so high is it is the most complete. It's been out the longest. I've played all the maps. I've played a bunch of the custom maps. I have played the heck out of this game. But I'm interested because here's a roll and write that you've played and enjoyed. I want to hear your take before I dig even more into this, Ryan.
Yeah.
Where does this pop? Why does this pop up on your list?
Okay, so I for sure, when it comes to roll and writes, I prefer a lot of the push your luck kind of approaches for roll and writes, where I can kind of puzzle it out and really see how far can I take this system and this game and just move it, you know? I like everything that Voyages is doing because with Voyages, you're rolling 3 dice, right?
Yep.
And those 3 dice, you're using 1 to move a number of spaces, 1 to determine the direction, and then 1 to cross off a square on the duties area on the bottom left. Yeah. But what's fun too is that when you complete a row or column in that like crossword like grid, you're gonna unlock a bonus. And I am enjoying that portion of it, but I also, again, I do like the decision behind what direction am I gonna go? How am I gonna push this? There's ways to mitigate it with the sailors, so I am enjoying it. However, the biggest thing I enjoy about Voyages is not so much the game, but the medium and the presentation. Honestly, in a hobby that is so full of like plastic and bloat and Kickstarter this and exclusive that, I love what they're doing at Postmark Games, where I could just spend $4 and print out my game.
Yep.
And I got the low res option, the high res option. I could laminate it. I could just print it on a piece of paper and just get going. I love that. And like the roll and write genre, I do give a lot of flack, but there's no question about how approachable this can be and how quick it is to send out a roll and write to a friend to play.
Yeah.
And I love that portion about the roll and write community more so than the than you know the games themselves too. Like I love that options.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, by the way, saying Aquamarine is his favorite of the 3. I'm not skipping the other comments, but I want to make note of that. I just want to note, and I kind of talked to you about this a little bit before, Ryan. I felt this about a few games recently, but I didn't feel as much pressure with the, like, if strategically Aquamarine, I enjoy the trying to get to the spots, etc. But a lot of the ones with diving or going underneath water, I do like the pressure of, oh, do I have to get back up? How quickly do I have to get back up, etc. And I don't know. It's a good game. I like it.
Aquamarine?
Yeah, Aquamarine. But of the 3, I felt the least invested in bringing it back to the table. I've brought it back to the table. It's just come back the least to this point since Waypoints came out. So Waypoints has come out a bit, but Voyagers still comes out the most and will repeatedly come out. And I have laminated everything for Voyages, not to mention all the custom maps that people have made.
And I love that portion of it too.
Yeah.
Like even I haven't played Rolling Realms, but I love that concept with Rolling Realms, whether it's like a fan community,
The
and
assets.
a lot. I think a bunch of them even turned into official expansions. Did they not?
I'm not sure if they turned them into efficient, but the assets were made available, so they might have adjusted them. We've got a few that we're gonna have to talk about though. I think you need to scroll up first.
All right, scrolling up.
So Rachel asked that. Then Dan said Hadrian's Wall has to be number 1. Dan is not wrong. He is not wrong because Dan knows that is my number 1. Hadrian's Wall.
Adrian!
I
Sorry.
That was not historically accurate.
I'm pretty sure it was.
No.
I saw the movie.
Oh man,
That's what he said.
this game is meaty. There is a lot happening here with these two boards, with these two pieces of paper, with the cards that are coming out that are setting new goals for each round that you're continuously going to be able to have for the end of the game, with the other card becoming the resources you're going to get, and then the use of your resources to go through, check off one of the many columns, and with the strategic plan of getting more of those, and continues having that kind of boom, 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 boom. I mean, this is bigger than when I first played Fleet. If I had never played Fleet the Dice game, I would have never loved this one nearly as much.
Right.
But then the concept also that you're building this protective wall, and that you have to constantly be mindful of, oh, I got to make sure I'm still building up because the attacks are going to get harder.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's happening at the same time. This game, for me, just hands down, it is a game that I will say I play very often solo.
Mm-hmm.
And it is on Board Game Arena. I saw some conversation around that. It's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I wish they did the implementation a little better, and gave me some more options, because it's just a lot to scroll constantly on it.
It's a lot of information to get on a screen.
Yeah, and I actually prefer this on my table.
Yeah.
Over Board Game Arena personally, and I continue to play it. I recommend, though, like I said, if you don't want a heavy game, this isn't going to be for you. But if you're looking for a lot of meat, but not looking for like what Danielle was talking about with Twilight Imperium's rolling right, trying inscription, like this really has a ton of it, and I just think there's so much replayability and variety in it. There is some interaction that happens if you played in a multiplayer game, but it's a little limited.
Well, Tyler's mentioning that he probably wouldn't like it as much.
Yeah,
Non-solo. Do you kind of get that impression?
I agree with Tyler completely. I there is a minor, like there's this minor piece of the game that works for multiplayer, but I don't even know if I say it works. Like
Okay.
I view this as a solo experience. I have played it with people, but it's, even if you play it with people, it still feels solo. And out of all the games I've played, this is the one that I can truly say that.
Okay.
Other ones feel even more engaging just at the table. This, I have to be doing exactly what Ryan doesn't like, which I'd have to be like, do this.
Right. This does this.
I have to do that.
I don't dislike that, but in a solo setting, that's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah.
I just like it when it's slowing the game for the rest of the people at the table.
Yeah, and I'm happy
But
to
for
do it
solo. Yeah.
For this, I'm happy to do a teach. So anyone who pops on, we can go through and learn this teach, because it is a wonderful game, and I really do love it. And nothing has taken this spot. I mean, this is in my top 20. It's number 1 here. So yeah, it's so far not moving.
When I was making my list, this was close to making my top 10. The reason why I didn't is because roll and writes tend to be such a solitaire experience, and this for sure is a solitaire experience. For what I'm getting in this game, there's other solitaire games I'd rather play for it. That's why it didn't make the list, but it's still a pretty solid game if you like that. If you like achieving combos and doing your own thing in that, I think it works out pretty well for that.
Yeah, I agree. Dr. J Game Fan mentioned another game in the chat, I believe. Oh, first thing, Ryan Farrell, OG Tabletop Express. Always good to see you, man. The original Ryan.
The OG Ryan.
The OG Ryan,
That's right. We grow on trees.
We played actually the first game on this channel that got played was Railroad Inc.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's on my list, but
I know. I'm just saying the first game was Railroad Inc. and it was him doing that. But he asked about Cartographers. We did. Cartographers was on my list at number 4.
Yeah, me too. Same spot, number 4 for both of us.
Dr. J Game Fan saying Bargain Basement Bathysphere.
Yes. So how about Bargain Basement Bathysphere? Well, I'll tell you how about. It's my number 2.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Not surprised.
I really like this solo experience. Okay, so in Bargain Basement Bathysphere, it is a push your luck dice game where you are inside a bargain basement bathysphere, a barrel going out into the ocean, and you're trying to achieve different goals. You are racing down this track and then coming back up this track. So it's got the aquamarine vibe of going down, but you're pressured to make it back or else you die. Yeah. So, which Aquamarine doesn't have. You just teleport into a new boat, an Aquamarine. But this one has that. Oh, what's that game? Deep Sea Adventure.
Yeah. Deep Sea Adventure.
That has that same vibe too.
Which I like quite a bit.
It comes with 3 dry erase boards, and
are they double-sided? I can't remember.
They're not double-sided, but they are twofold. And what's interesting is that not all of the track is used per scenario. So there's 20 different scenarios, and it's a campaign-based game. So it's a solo campaign-based game where each game takes about 15 minutes. So you kind of set up the board. So you see, like, I have different, like, borders around, like, the tracks and stuff. And on your turn, you're rolling a set of dice, and you're choosing which die to activate and when to re-roll your dice, because you're going to move that number of spaces either up or down, okay? And any hazards that you land on, you just cross off and don't do the hazard. But every hazard you pass, you cross it off and take the penalty. So it's like the more you're exerting, the more dangerous it becomes. So you want to go slow, but you're also pressured because every die you use, once you're done with your dice, you have to use all of your dice. And if you're not happy with the rest of them, you can always re-roll. But whenever you re-roll, your oxygen tank goes down. And then you start getting damage. You start losing some dice that you're rolling. So you're constantly just like riding, like you're just in that barrel holding on to the pieces of wood as you're just getting sunken in. You're trying to take as many treasures as you can. You're trying to achieve different goals of collecting this stuff. So when you collect these goods, you're also like these different wildlife like crabs or whatever, fish. You're gonna put them onto another board, which is like a campaign board where you can actually unlock different abilities that you can achieve throughout the game. It's wild, and it's really, really I thoroughly enjoyed.
You picked this up at PAX Unplugged last year.
I did pick this up at PAX Unplugged. And I really love the push your luck kind of mechanics for this, and I love how quick it is, and how wild it can be. Because every map also has some different rules. Like there you see a whirlpool in the rescue party one. There's one where you're sometimes trying to rescue specific people, and it's like, oh, I can never get that guy. But then sometimes you might be able to, you know. So yeah, Bargain Basement Bathysphere. If you like solo gaming. If you like roll and writes and push your luck, I would recommend trying it. It's not too expensive either.
No, it's pretty expensive.
You could also print and play the original one. During COVID, there was a print and play. Well, I think it started as a print and play, actually. I believe this game started as a print and play, and the WizKids picked it up.
Yeah. So. I found this interesting. I found this interesting. It's not in my top 10 by any means, but partially because if I wanted a solo campaign, I did really enjoy what I mentioned earlier, the Welcome to the Moon. And yes, a different game, but that engrossed me. This one didn't grab me, but I really appreciate what they did, and especially the quality, because they did give you the dry erase boards, similar, much like what I previously mentioned, and I think the quality it's just high level on this. So just a great production overall, and quality game mechanics. So I give him kudos.
Night, Danielle.
Night, Danielle. Night, Camel.
Good night, Camel. Good night, Welcome to the Moon. Good night, Camel who hates the moon.
No, Camel likes the moon. My friends apparently didn't like the moon.
The friends of Camel who dislike the moon.
No, the friends of my friends didn't like
sorry,
the moon.
everyone. Anyways.
How are we looking on our lists here?
So you're done.
Yeah, I'm done.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4 left. Anthony, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 left. As well,
I want to put this to people who are left in the chat. What do you think is on Anthony and Ryan's list that is remaining? Because we've got a bunch of spots here. I'm done. Apparently, you've all guessed mine. So,
One of mine is on that pile over there.
ooh,
Oh yes, it is. It is.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
I guess,
good. You can talk about it.
I forget what number it is actually.
Well,
Well, let's just.
I'll just go to my number 9. How's that sound? While you
Yeah.
figure it out.
Okay, good.
All right. So my number 9 is Ganshon Clever. Okay. Now I did talk about largely multiplayer solitaire kind of games. This one has some solitaire aspects. I mean, you're drafting these dice with other players, so it's not completely solitaire. But you're not also really hate drafting. It's more like I just happen to take the one that you didn't want. Yeah. But anyways, if I am playing a game that is combo focused and quicker, I would do Ganshon Clever. I did enjoy that one for what it was offering for sure. I don't know if you guys played Ganshon Clever at all. Yeah. So it's again, it's not like my favorite roll and write. That's why it's down here at number 9. I needed a 10, but but again, if I am playing a roll and write kind of game where it is going to be like a player who wants a combo focused game that isn't really messing with other players, I would recommend this one. But there is one higher above that I would recommend for just combos in general.
Can I mention this real quick?
You can.
This is not that game.
That's the kids version.
But it is a kids version of this game.
Yes.
Which I actually highly enjoyed.
Yeah.
It's not on my list, obviously. But for a kids game, I was pretty impressed.
Yeah.
Had just the right amount of combo action going and, different colors here. You're trying to plan a birthday party, basically.
Yeah.
Pretty impressed.
Kinder Ganshon Clever.
There you go. All right. I think...
Well, let's see. We got some mentions.
All right, we got mentions.
Can't Stop Express. Anyone?
Not on my list.
No.
Motor City. We talked about it. The least favorite, at least of the ones that have come out for both Anthony and I to this point.
Not in our top 10.
Not quite our top 10. Hex.
Have not played Hex Roller.
Trek 12.
Trek 12 is my number 7.
Boom. Hang on, wait, let me bring it up.
Oh, yeah.
Boop.
There you go. Trek 12 is a roll and write where you're going to roll 2 dice and pick what to do with them. So what's cool about this is you have the option of taking the lower number of the 2 rolled, the higher number of the 2. You can add them together, you can subtract them from each other, or you can multiply them. So you get a pretty wide range of numbers that are available. However, you could only do each of those things 4 times. So be strategic on when you choose to do which thing. What you're trying to do on your map here as you climb the mountain is you're writing these numbers in these circles, and you're trying to score points in a couple of different ways. You're either trying to make groups of the same number adjacent to each other, or runs of basically ascending and descending numbers. Yeah. That's where the puzzle kind of comes in. It's how do I fit all these things together where they're not going to cause too much of a clash, and they may even overlap and be able to, kind of get me points in both camps, so to speak. But I do like that option of choosing mathematically what to do with those 2 numbers. Yeah. I thought it was pretty unique. This you can play just a straight off like one sheet. However, you can also do I forget what they call it. I think it's an expedition they call it in the game.
Yeah, it's like
where you play 3 sheets and have a combined score, so to speak. And then there's also some like new maps that you can unlock. It has a very thin legacy aspect to it where you're discovering
very, very
mountains,
loose,
but it's fun.
Yeah.
Little envelopes you get to open and find new sheets and stuff like that. But yeah, I found this one very approachable and a lot of fun. And like I said, pretty unique with the dice rolling in a very crowded genre. It's something that stood out as a little bit different.
I wish I could explain why this didn't hit for me, because it didn't. Because I did enjoy exactly what you described, the different ways you're doing that you can use the dice, but I can see a lot of people liking this one just for that reason. It is definitely a light game. I wouldn't. Yeah, it's definitely a very light.
Now, is
legacy
that your
thing.
copy or his copy?
That's his copy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Have you played it?
I have played a bunch of it online.
Okay.
I haven't done it in person. I've done a bunch of them online. Done a bunch of different maps. It just felt very samey. I got to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm just kind of going through the motions.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, I can see that. I think there's also a couple of random like holiday maps you can get for this one. There's like a Christmas tree shaped one. I think there's a heart for Valentine's Day. There may even be a couple of other ones.
Yeah.
Oh man, we've got some things in the list. Let's
All right, let's go up.
let's scroll.
We'll do
Metro X.
Metro
Metro
X.
X is also on my list.
I knew that was gonna be there.
Oh yeah. Let's see. It is number
It's gotta be
5.
Yeah.
I believe it's number 5.
Metrox.
Metrox.
This one's fun.
This one's fun and thinky and
looks cool.
lucky.
It's a lot of fun.
No player interaction really whatsoever.
I like trains.
But trains are cool.
Trains are cool.
Trains are cool. You are flipping over one of those cards, and everybody's gonna use that number. What you're doing with that number is you're Xing out that many circles on a certain train's route. Okay, as you can see on those maps, there's a lot of intersections on the map, which looks crazy. It could be a little overwhelming at first, but it's actually pretty cool because you only get, I forget how many cards are in the whole thing. You reshuffle when you get that 6. But essentially, in each of those routes has a train car that, as you can see, only has a limited number of spaces, like 2, 3, or 4. It might be a 5 one in there sometimes. Once those are filled up, you can't write on that route anymore. Yeah. But because there's so much intersecting going on, you might be able to get farther or complete a route by using and writing in other colors that also take those spots. There's also some skip cards, which will let you write X's non-sequentially, because if you get to one that has an X already, you normally have to stop. But if you have a skip, you can go to the next available one. Yeah. And then there's these transfer cards, which is the only time you actually write a number in those circles, because you essentially try to find a spot where a bunch of routes intersect, and you'll get points based on how many different train lines are going through that one hub.
This is one of those games that I think you look at and your brain some people's brains might turn off.
Oh yeah.
But it's not that, like, I just tell people that, like, because I enjoyed this one when we played it probably a year ago, but like my brain looked at it from, I was like, there's a lot happening here.
Yeah,
and then
it could be a little overwhelming.
But the first thing you told me was, trust me, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And then you explained it. I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So everyone's going to have the same number of turns because there's only, a set amount of spaces on the train cars themselves. So it's easy to see, like, where you are in the progress of the game. Yeah. And there's I think the base game comes with 2 maps. There was at least one expansion that had 2 new foreign maps. There might even be more. I forget how many I have. I think 3 or 4 different ones. But yeah, that's Metro X, a flip and write train game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. Next Station, and I've played only Next Station on Board Game Arena.
Haven't done Next Station.
Yeah, I've only played that on Board Game Arena. I've never played Bricks.
Bricks haven't done.
Imperial Setter's Roll and Write was on my list.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
It was.
It was on my list and dropped off. I like the game. Here's the thing. I actually like it better on the app. Because there is an app for this that is fantastic.
The Roll and Write?
For the Roll and Write. Imperial Setter's Roll and Write is actually, it really is a fantastic game. It definitely goes to the solo field, though, for me.
Yeah, okay.
Because you've got this kind of legacy piece that's happening where all these different maps. I mean, there's a lot of game in that box. But the app was so good that I ended up starting playing on the app. And I tend to play there most of the time. But it is a great game in that regard. And I got it because I love the Imperial Settlers world. I just like that world as a whole. If you get a chance to get it cheap, though, and by cheap, I just mean, like, not pay full price. There's a lot of game in this box, but I highly recommend you check out the app, to be honest, because the app for pretty inexpensive is a lot of game on the go, and I think it works well in a digital format.
Cool.
Dinosaur Island Roll and Write. I do want to to I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I own it and have not played it.
Let's change it.
It was on someone's top 20
yeah.
Of the year. It might have been
Brian.
It might have been Brian's.
I need to play that. Yeah, and Tyler, to that point, like I said, Empire State Roll and Write, it is a great game. But I think
Second Chance, baby's first Uwe. I never played Second Chance.
I think I've played that. It's a really simple sheet where I think you're just coloring in polyomino shapes.
Isle of Cats Roll and Write, have you? Because I know you like your Isle of Cats.
Yes, that's Explore and Draw, right? I think that one is called. Yeah, I have played that. I enjoyed it. I do like the regular base game better. What I do like about that version, though, is I believe there's like 3 or 4 rows of cards that you can take that have polyomino shapes on them. But you're not, like, if you choose one, it doesn't mean it's gone. Like, I can still pick that one.
Okay.
Which is a little different than, you're not really drafting them, which I kind of liked.
The Roll to the Top, haven't done. Railroad Ink is not on my list.
Railroad Ink, I've played online many times. I enjoy it, but nothing.
Yeah, not enough to add it. Quinto
It's my number 9.
There we are.
So slightly above Quicks. Very similar in that you're writing numbers on lines from left to right. Why I like this one a little bit is there's a little more strategy going on for a couple of reasons. The big difference here is, well, there's only 3 lines instead of 4, right? But in Quicks, the numbers are there for you and you're doing them in that order. In Quinto, you're writing the numbers anywhere, but they do have to be in sequential order. What's cool about this, though, is there's 3 colors, so there's 3 dice. And when it's your turn as the active player, you can choose to roll 1, 2, or 3 dice. So if you want to concentrate on one color right now, say yellow, you might only roll yellow. But because you're only rolling yellow, you're not going to get higher than a 6. So that's why you might want to roll 2 or 3 dice. But the other cool thing is that you're going to be scoring in a couple of different ways. Ideally, if you fill up an entire row, you'll score points for that row given the highest number that you got there. Okay? If you don't fill it up, you'll get points based on just how many spots you did fill.
Okay.
But the other thing you can get points on, which is kind of cool and much different than Quicks, is there's these vertical columns that have, you'll notice some of the spots are pentagon shapes. So in those, if you have the whole column filled, you'll get points based on that value that's in that pentagon space. So it has this, you're spatially planning left to right and kind of up and down. And the other trick is you can't have any repeat numbers on top of each other either.
Ooh.
That's why that comes, that gets a little hairy with the pentagon thing. And you'll notice there's some spots that don't have a place to write. So that kind of shifts it a little bit as well. So a little bit of a smaller footprint than Quicks, not by much, but more of a game than Quicks. Slightly more.
Cool. You're getting some love, by the way, from Brian Chandler on your Metrex explanation. Which I thought was very strong. I do think, like I said, there's a lot that looks like a lot going on, but it is.
Well, it is, and I've said this before, I always look for jumping off points on how to teach someone something new, right? And when games have something like a Yahtzee mechanic, that's a great jumping off point. But going back to Trek 12, if you have ever played Rummy ever in your life, that's what it is, right? It's basically a set collection game, but you're writing the sets instead of holding them in your hand, right? Trying to get runs or groups of the same number.
And then Perudo, that's just Liar's Dice, isn't it?
I don't know that I've heard that name before.
I think I've seen it on Board Game Geek, and it linked to like Liar's Dice, but I don't know if there's a paper involved. I do like Liar's Dice though.
Well,
you have 1 left.
So do you.
I know.
Oh, wait, you have 2.
I have 3
Wow,
left.
goodness. All right, you should go.
Well, yeah, we should put you. I know he's 8, but
How about this? I'll do 5
Yeah.
and 3.
Okay.
Add them together. That's an 8.
Hey-o.
oh man, math.
And then 1.
Got it.
Okay. I might tick people off with 1.
I hope you do.
I hope
I'm
do.
looking forward to this.
All right. Number 5 is actually both number 5 and number 3 are spin-offs of existing board games.
Okay.
I know what one of these is then.
Number 5 I don't like as much as the original. Number 3 I like better than the original.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
Then I know what number 5 is.
But number 5 is
No,
like you
No, the name is in my mind of the game, but it's the
All right, so
it's the dice version of shite. What
it is Joan of Arc.
That's it.
Orleans, draw.
It's
and
Orleans.
write.
That yes.
So there's no dice involved in this, but there are cardboard chits in the back.
Yeah.
In this game, and we played this together.
Yeah.
And we played this together. It is I guess draw, draft, and write. Draw and draft, and you're going to be drawing a set of these follower pogs, just like in Orleans. But instead of you having your own set of pogs and your other player having your own set of pogs, there's a central board, and you're drafting them one at a time. I take one, and you take one, and so on. And we're going to be achieving different goals. All the different pogs do different abilities, and you could kind of cross off the ones that match wherever they're supposed to go. Okay? Same thing with Orleans. You score based on the number of trading houses you've completed, multiplied by that number down below on the score track. There's also additional scoring too based on the number of citizens you have too. Oh yeah, that's in the base game too. So scoring is very much the same. But what I do like about this game is it adds the player interaction. I do like the hate draft kind of thing where you are seeing what the other players are doing. And you're kind of deciding, I could go for this one that I do need, but they need it too. And that one, which one, you have to weigh, do I go for what's best for me or what's more harmful for the other player?
Wasn't there, and one of the pieces was incredible. I know when I played you, one piece, you kept getting a certain type, and I realized halfway through the game, I should have been taking this.
Yeah, that happened to me
stop
too.
you.
That happened to me
man.
too.
Did you
Now
do
I
the
feel
same-
like, did I bamboozle you guys?
Yes.
Oh,
You
no.
totally.
Oh, jeez.
But it was true. Like this did feel. I think the big thing for me, this.
Hey, Rachel.
See you, Rachel. This did feel like Orleans.
It
though,
does.
for me, and that was the thing that impressed me.
It's weird because I didn't like. I prefer plain Orleans for sure. But I didn't. And I see the feelings for Orleans in there, and I wouldn't think that's the way I would translate Orleans into a pen and paper, like roll and write kind of thing. But it worked out really well.
Yeah.
So if you're a fan of Orleans, I try it out. If you are not a fan of roll and writes but want a roll and write with some interaction in there, I would recommend it for sure.
Yeah.
That's Joan of Arc, Orleans Draw and Write, designed by Ryan Hendrickson and Reiner Stahl-Collison.
This has a solo mode too, right?
It does have a solo mode, which I don't recommend, honestly. Also, one of the coolest things about the game is that Joan of Arc is on the cover, right? And she's wearing this outfit, this knight outfit. And this knight outfit is on every copy of Orleans, but with a mask. So it's like Joan of Arc was there the whole time.
That's awesome.
On every board.
It's like Metroid.
It's like Metroid, yeah.
So what's your number 3 then?
My number 3 is a spin-off of another board game. And this one I prefer over the original. And I've played both, but I played the roll and write first. And I don't know if that affected it.
Is it? Can I guess what it is?
You can guess.
Is it Castles of Burgundy?
It's not. Actually, I hate it. That's one of my least favorites. I do like Castles of Burgundy, the game itself, though. Okay. This is Rajas of the Ganges, the Dice Charmers, okay?
That's cool.
This is a good. I've only played this once.
It's cool. It's a great one. So, in Rajas of the Ganges, the Dice Charmers, you are going to be fulfilled. It's very much a combo-tastic roll and write. Yeah. Heavily combo-tastic. And Rajas of the Ganges is that game that introduced the way the game is going to end is when the 2 point markers on opposite ends intersect, and the player intersects the most wins. Yeah. And once that intersect happens, the game is over. And that brings us into this game too. But you unlock a lot of different benefits when you're doing these different things. When you're rolling the dice, you are applying the specific color die on the colored track and achieving whatever goal that is, which usually unlocks another benefit. It's a lot of benefit kind of things, but it's also a game that's best at 2 exactly. Because what's going to go on is you're going to be drafting these dice back and forth, okay? So you're going to, of these dice, I take a set of 2, you take a set of 2. And there's ways to kind of mitigate it a little bit. Like the orange dice really act like wilds of the other purple, blues, and green ones. And you can see what your other opponents are doing, but not as much as like an Orleans drawing right. But this one I think is pretty fantastic at 2 players exactly. And I would recommend it for fans of Rajas of the Ganges. And I would prefer it over playing actual Rajas of the Ganges.
I've never played either one.
I have played both of them once.
Yeah.
So this one I probably should play more because I really did like this. I did, and I love that, what you described, which I didn't realize actually.
The Arc Nova thing
But yeah,
too,
yeah,
does it.
yeah, but it's better than Arc Nova.
Well,
That game, Raja's better. Anyways, I don't like Arc Nova.
I think this is better. I prefer this Dice Charmers game over Arc Nova, but I prefer Arc Nova over Rajas of the Ganges.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's my opinion. Of course it's fair.
Yeah, it's very fair.
And balanced.
Boom. All right, so that was my number.
Don't go there.
5 and 3. Add them up, it's 8.
It's number 8.
What's your 8?
So is your 8 a crossover of his 1? No, doubt that.
No,
It's not.
def not.
It's not. It's not.
No, we already know that.
It is appropriate for the time of year, though. However, with Thanksgiving coming up, this is Harvest Dice.
Oh, yes.
The square box that's slightly not a square, which is very, very annoying.
Arc Nova shade. Sorry, Tyler.
Oh.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, I have no... For the record, let me say, I have no issue. I respect Arc Nova. I just have no real interest in... I like online play. I've actually enjoyed
I prefer
more.
it on BGA.
I've enjoyed it more on BGA than the in-person experience.
Yeah.
I like Arc Nova better than Earth, though.
Yeah. That's,
So-
oh, yeah. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, this is all about vegetables.
Okay.
Okay, so you get to add into your garden carrots, tomatoes, and lettuce. Caveat being that you're going to pick one of those columns that matches up to the pips on the dice. And once you plant one of those crops, every one that comes afterwards of the same type does need to be adjacent to it somewhere. So you have to plan out the way your garden is going to be set up. What's cool about this game is you're going to get points based on a lot of stuff, but based on those 3 types of vegetables at the end of the game, however many you have of each, but what they're worth is going to be different because there's a little bit of like a market fluctuation as the game goes on. Because basically, like other roll and writes, you're going to draft dice and there's going to be one left. The one that's left is going to be used to cross off one of those basically baskets of those vegetables, thus increasing the point value of those. So there may be times where you strategically want a die to be left over because you want your carrots to be worth more because you have a whole bunch of them in your garden. In addition to that, there's always the option of feeding the pig. So if you don't want to actually plant one of those 3 things, you can give the total number of pips to the pig and cross off that amount of spots on that pig chart. You're going to get points for the largest row or the farthest down row that you completed all the way. Plus, every time you do a row, you can also use the ability of the pig to alter the dice. So very simple thing, but just enough going on to to feel not so samey. Again, with that kind of like different points that are going to be allotted each game. Plus, you get to draw vegetables and add colors to your sheet.
Did I play this with you?
Probably.
I think I played this with you because I remember drawing carrots.
Yeah.
So, is there any other game I would have played where I draw carrots with you outside of...
Probably not.
Yeah.
There's no cartographer expansion.
The carrot
no
monster.
The carrot
Carrot
monster. You gotta
monster.
feed carrots to the rabbit
No.
monster or something.
No, there's no carrot expansion to cartographer.
So that's Harvest
Coming
Dice.
soon.
A whole bunch of different ways to get points.
I like that mechanic though of deciding what to raise the price. I think
Yeah,
that's pretty
yeah.
cool.
I thought that
I
was
like
pretty
that.
different, and for a small game, I thought that was an interesting mechanic to have. There obviously are very large, heavy economic games that have a sort of market aspect to them, but this boils it down to much simpler.
And this was Garfield Games who did this one?
Yeah, Dane Devine, also the designer of Ghost Left Candy
Which is a fun one.
2, which
Was it Garfield?
It was a fun little...
Gray Fox. My bad.
I
My
was
bad.
going to say, okay, that didn't seem right.
Typo.
Oh, cool.
Womp womp.
Womp, womp,
Mark that
womp.
down.
All right. Well, what's now? We got to know what is the number one everyone's gonna hate that you told. That was
I did say that. And I'll tell you why. I'm starting from the bottom. Roll Through the Ages, The Bronze Age by Matt Leacock is a phenomenal roll and write. And it was the game that I first played, like the first roll and write I played in the hobby, and was early enough that it was before a lot of other roll and writes were getting popularized, and I really enjoyed what they were doing. As I played more roll and writes, some aspects of Roll Through the Ages I feel like did not age well. There was the sequel, Roll Through the Ages, The Iron Age, that just felt not like a real sequel. Matt Leacock, though, did make a sequel to Roll Through the Ages. But it's not a roll and write. It is a roll and build. And that's the part where...
So there's toy factor.
There is a lot of toy factor in this one.
No wonder it's your number one.
Well, it's not because of that.
Okay.
It's not because of the toy factor. But it does play into a factor.
A little.
Sure. A little bit. Okay, so my number one is called Era Medieval Age, which is designed by Matt Leacock, came out 2019, published by Eggerspiel, and is basically Roll Through the Ages 2.0, but instead of writing down different polyomino shapes in like your traditional kind of grid, it's got really cool Lego looking pieces, which are pretty dope.
That's pretty cool looking.
They're pretty dope. Now, the pegboard has been replaced with an integrated plastic board that holds up your pieces, and you're placing them out polyomino style. You're drafting them just like how you would, draft in a roll and write, because you're rolling all these dice. You're taking all the resources and you're using these resources to buy any polyomino shapes. Those polyomino shapes you are going to be they're limited too. They're limited. There's placement restrictions, and there's also, going to your cartographer's example of the volcano, there are hazardous terrains that can take up and muck your board. I love this one. When it comes to a roll and write, this is in the first of the line of roll and builds, and this is what I like in this game. It takes all the interaction still from Roll Through the Ages.
I'm just laughing.
Anyways, it takes all the interactions from Roll Through the Ages, applies the toy factor, makes limited resources for those polyomino shapes, and then you get a nice looking little castle at the end.
It looks neat. It makes me think about what's the game from AEG that I
Castlescape.
No, Explorers. We've played it many times now. The
Gilded Merchant Explorer.
Yeah, Gilded Merchant Explorer.
Which feels like a roll and write.
Like a roll and write, and I didn't include it, but it's one of those ones that it has that same vibe. Without me defining it as a roll and write in that way, it had that same feel.
Yeah, this for sure has that feel, and that's why I would pick that one.
There we go.
Cool.
Well, let's make sure we take one last look here. We got our number ones: Hadrian's Wall, Era, Medieval Age, and Three Sisters. Those are the number ones for us. Hopefully, people, if you've watched this, have enjoyed also just variety of one. And I want to thank everyone. My goodness, through the chat, how many different...
It was explosive today.
How many different games have been named? It's crazy.
I am waiting for the Lupin Louis roll and write. I think that's going to be a pretty solid one. You didn't hear about it?
What? There is?
No.
Don't.
That would be pretty cool, though.
What would you do?
You probably have to prevent Louis from erasing your chickens. I don't know. You have to quickly draw your chickens while the Louis is going around and hitting your pencil.
That's awesome.
Okay, there it is.
There you go. Just made a game.
Lupin Louis.
We just made a game
right.
live. Didn't much effort. Not how game design works. Efforts involved.
Man, now this is pretty funny. Like, draw. Whoops. Draw. Whoops. And you gotta, like, catapult him, too, and draw.
Oh, he's going around and you have to...
Yeah, physically.
yeah.
You're drawing.
You're physically drawing, but you have to...
Yes,
Okay.
while Louis is trying to hit your pencil and mess with your...
What if your
roll and write
pencil
card.
had the chickens on the...
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like,
so it had to be a little pencil.
yeah. Like
It had to be like what if...
like a magnetic pencil, and like parts of it will come
Yeah.
off, and you have like a little sliver you're working
Oh
with.
my god.
Oh, like when a kid writes with like
Yeah.
just the lead from
Yeah.
the lead pencil. Oh my god! their
Oh, it has
fingers
like
are
a sharpener on the end.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
oh
That'd be
man.
cool.
It's late.
Yeah. Well, Tyler, thank you. But Tyler, by the way, thank you. Said he enjoyed the banter in the list.
Thank you, Tyler.
I'm glad you liked my list as well too. But but yeah, no banter. We don't like the banter.
No Marvel or Cthulhu rolling right.
I
That's
don't.
true.
Yeah.
Surprised.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No Cthulhu, because there's Cthulhu everything.
No. And after we get off air here, we're gonna go design Lupin Louis rolling right. Clearly.
Yeah, clearly.
Clearly what we're going to do. Well, I will say thank you every so it's been hopping in the chat, and thank you of course for MistaRau for calling in on the call-in part of the show. Of course, encourage everybody to consider calling in if you like the topic. The other thing is next week
We're gonna be back with a Creators Corner. I'm gonna be dropping the screenshot soon, but we're gonna have Gil Hova for a Creators Corner, designer of the networks, designer of Prolix,
Yep.
Wordsy, High Rise, and I've known him for a while.
and he's had some news recently too with some of the stuff I know with
a lot of his
All Play.
games are getting picked up from All Play. Yeah.
Yeah, so should be an interesting conversation. Week after that, we'll be back with another Call Aboard, and then after that,
it's pre-PAX Unplugged.
pre-PAX Unplugged Call Aboard, and then we're gonna take the week off. We do have some stuff planned, which we'll let you know. That's gonna be on the channel, but we will be taking a week off for that because we're going to PAX Unplugged. So we hope to see you guys there. But in the meantime, tune in next week. Call Aboard is out here at Creators Corner next week, Wednesday.
Bye, y'all.
Have a good night, everybody.